All right, everybody, what's up? So I dragged this fucking redneck here because I actually like this is my buddy Dakota, Cody, whatever the fuck he wants to call himself. Which do you prefer, by the way?
So like most of my friends call me Scoby. Just like I don't
Scobie.
know, small town shit. You call each other by your last name for some reason.
Mm.
But my first name's Dakota. Feel free to call me uh, whichever you prefer. I'm not the most picky. You know.
All right. So so yeah, um, he is probably the second biggest Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire, George R. R. Martin nerd in the state of Missouri. I, of course, am the first. I'm also extremely arrogant. So,
Right.
what like
We've
got you?
debated on this title a couple times throughout the years as well. So
Yeah. So, what got you like? What got you into the series? Like me, I personally, I like the political aspect of it. Like like there's so much to learn about like how to move. Of course, it's in a feudal fantasy setting, right? So
right.
it's not like okay,
Or post-apocalyptic sci-fi if you're on a certain subreddit.
my boss is actually like probably the third biggest George R. R. Martin nerd. And like we were talking about like these various wackos theories, like yeah, one of the major theories is that Westeros is actually a post-apocalyptic version of our world. Well, not just Westeros, Planetos, or
So
whatever they call it.
yeah, Planetos.
Yeah,
Uh,
like
so
go ahead.
if you look at George R. R. Martin's writing, okay, in the past he was always a sci-fi writer, and common themes he always liked to write about are uh, civilizations in technological retrograde. So
Hmm.
he likes, to write about, think about the Valyrian Empire, and they could meld stone, and they had all these, great pieces of technology. We've regressed technology by the time we get to 298 AC when Game of Thrones starts. Uh, but so he likes war is bad stories because he's a hippie that followed around the Grateful Dead for years.
Oh, he's a deadhead. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, the Weirwoods are actually named after Bob Weir, the original guitarist for the band.
Wow.
Hmm.
There's a couple people at my shelter that like used to do that. They're unhoused now, but like bunch of it's like a couple like old white hippies, and like they still got the
Yep.
long hair, and yeah, like they used to do that like back in the 70s and 80s. It was the thing. Then we've got a couple old metalheads. It's interesting. Like people think that like unhoused people have no cultural frame of reference. Like they're just people that are alcoholics and drug addicts. Like no, these people have actually had like real fucking lives. Like I've talked to people who used to be deadheads. They were at the Guns N' Roses concert. They got fucked up in St. Louis. Like I've
Hmm.
actually talked to people like people who were at stuff like that and who like everybody was young once. Everybody has had a life. So
That's right.
that's why like I
Eh,
encourage people to actually like have real conversations and actually work with the unhoused people. Like there's fucking Game of Thrones nerds that are homeless. Met
Oh,
there's one guy
absolutely,
he plays fucking he goes to fucking magic tournaments. Like they're fucking human beings.
absolutely. We obviously not that big a problem here in the Boondocks. We'll like Rolla, the big town next door, has a homeless shelter. You'll find we'll have like one panhandler at all three exits,
Mhm.
and so it's not like when I'm in the city or when I'm walking, through the loop on my way to get some good ramen, and I see, a couple dozen, just
Oh, so you love the loop, huh?
I like live music a lot, so the pageant's a pretty good venue.
Okay.
And like I said, there's a couple cool bookstores. I found a couple like first editions of Robert. You ever read The Wheel of Time?
Somebody recommended me that the show. It bored me to fucking tears within like a half an hour.
Yeah. So I mean, the show. What are you gonna do? It's an adaptation, and definitely hardcore fans of Wheel of Time shit on it just as hard as hardcore fans of Game of Thrones shit on the last couple seasons of the show. You know,
Yeah. So so yeah, going
nerds are
back
picky.
very hence most nerds are also leftists, and that's why we spend a lot of our time fighting each other.
That's
Like
right.
I could literally say something like communism will win on Twitter, and like five people will just come and be like, well, they're either quote retweet it because they're addicted to the algorithm, and they'll be like,
Right.
oh,
Praise be.
what do you mean communism will win? How what on what basis? I'm like, you people are fucking dumb. Like and nowhere else have I seen people argue so much with people who agree with them on 99.97% of things. Never, nowheres.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the same like unity that the right has. Like,
And the right
you know,
doesn't. Yeah.
they back each other no matter what. I
Well,
mean, the closest thing is the last couple years, you know, with like the never Trumpers and Trump. You know,
yeah, but like even then, like the right fights a lot. Like especially after Unite the Right, Charlottesville, like they were suing each other and they were on their various little forums and discords calling each other feds and I mean they squabble too. But like you said,
oh yeah,
when it's time to throw down, they're pretty good at uniting. And I would say that the left, like especially like when the alt right was big, like I'm pretty sure you and me like came up around the same time. Like
hmm,
we came to leftist politics around the same time, like the mid, early, late 2010s. So 2010s is a decade.
yeah,
So like the alt right basically like forced us to unite because like these people were doxing us, they were attacking comrades, they were attacking places where socialists were known to hang out. Like it was literally a low intensity war. So am I saying that the alt right was a good thing? No, but having an enemy to like unite against, um, like it helps. Whereas in like peacetime, like whenever a Democrat gets elected, for some reason leftists still consider that peacetime. Whenever a Democrat is elected, then we have time
definitely.
for, yeah, then we have time to squabble and argue and do all of these other stupid things. Is argument bad? No, but stupid arguments over stupid things are bad.
You know, it, something that is, you know, you said the peacetime in Democrats thing, and that makes me think about how, you know, right now the big thing in like right wing media is all about this immigration scare. You know,
Hmm.
immigration scare, and this is all despite the fact that Biden kept almost all the same border policies that Trump had.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like nothing's changed on that front. You know, uh,
And the thing
but
is, like, look at this. Like, we have all of these dystopian things that are being forced through. This was apparently a response to a wildcat strike from Metropolitan Transit Authority, the NYC subway and other public transit system. But the governor of the state of New York, Kathy Hochul, is literally putting the National Guard and state troopers to do mandatory bag checks in the New York City subway. And then in D.C. Yesterday evening, um, they passed this fucking fucked up ass crime bill. Hold on, let me pull it up. And like
Joe
we have,
Biden and a bad crime bill?
yeah,
Say it ain't so.
yeah. They passed this thing, and it's like it's dystopian. Like, and we think that just because a Democrat is an officer, just
Wait.
because
Slide back up to that
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 is,
meme of you.
oh
The the
yeah,
13th reason why. That's good. I didn't see that.
yeah. People are making fun of my funny shaped head. People make fun of me for a lot of things. I thought you were talking about Lauren Boebert,
Oh
but yeah, yeah. I can't stand her. You know,
no, no.
her son actually like got arrested for something like for I think he was breaking in cars. And
Really?
yeah, let me pull it up. Lauren Boebert son arrested. Yeah, arrested in a string of thefts. Representative Lauren Boebert's 18-year-old son arrested on multiple felony charges. Tyler Boebert. See, I never trust anybody named Tyler. Like, that is the most whiskey tango name ever.
That's
He
definitely
was,
very white.
yeah,
Very white name.
very white, a very particular type of white people. It says Tyler
So what?
Bobert, he faces multiple felony charges, including criminal possession of multiple stolen financial devices and criminal possession. So he was basically going through stealing people's credit cards and IDs and stuff, which are Class C felonies punishable by 12 to 18 months in prison. He also faces over 15 additional misdemeanor and petty offenses.
Hmm. I was
The
hoping you were gonna say he was like a Kia boy. Like,
yeah, he was basically that's what that's what he wasn't stealing cars. He was stealing shit out of cars apparently. He took people's debit cards, social security cards, and driver's licenses. The victims said their credit and debit cards racked up several unauthorized charges. One attempted charge, which was denied, was for $717 on Shine. How the fuck do you drop almost $1,000 on Shine?
man, I've only ordered off there once, and like I got like 5 jackets for like $40, and I felt like I was,
That shit
the
is
king
gonna
of the world.
that shit is gonna fall apart in like a week, bruh.
Hey, everybody was talking about it. I got on there, scrolled, thought I'd give it a try. Definitely haven't been back since. It was like a
Yeah,
year ago or
I've
so.
never ordered nothing off of there. Man, this guy, he was doing this shit. The police already knew he was, and he was wearing a hoodie adorned with branding from his mother's former restaurant, Shooter's Grill. I would love to see his arrest video. My mom is a fucking congressman, and you fucking pig. I see what the blacks are talking about when they say ACAB now. Fuck you, bro.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's basically the Joffrey Baratheon of
If
of
if Cersei
politics.
was giving out HJs at the Myronese dancing show.
Yeah, this is just the fucking whiskey tango ass family. Oh yeah, my this Serbian dude, cigarette enjoyer, he's mad because I haven't streamed for a week. Look, bro, I have a life, I have shit to do. I'm actually helping DSA do a socialist night school on the 20th, I believe. So I've been working on stuff for that, and I also have a regular job. I'm not a professional streamer yet. I don't do this for a living.
Only minorly internet famous guys.
Yeah,
We're working on it.
we're working on it. So, going back to like the political aspects of a song in Ice and Fire, like it's obvious that George put a huge amount of work and research into his world building. Like a lot of this stuff has
Oh yeah.
it has parallels to modern day politics, even though it's set in a backwards feudal society. And the thing that always gets me is like Bravos, Pintos, the free cities, like they're remnants of the Valyrian Empire, the daughters of Valyria. Um, and like they are far more advanced. Like they have a basically a mercantile commerce system, while Westeros is stuck in feudalism. So
Yeah.
I've always thought of Bravos and the rest of these free cities, Volantis and all of them, as being
Much
like,
of Essos is basically in like the Renaissance period.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
technologically, medicinally, you know, although I guess, they've got a little bit of magic helping them there with the red priestesses and, you know,
yeah,
but
it's basically Renaissance Italy, and um Westeros is basically like it's feudal Western Europe, like it's France. Dorne is obviously Spain.
Spain.
Um, the Westerlands are like they have parallels to. Well, I guess the Westerlands in the north. I think George based the north off of Northumbria and Scotland.
Yeah.
Like even in the show, like they all have Northern English or Scottish accents up there.
Hmm.
And I guess the Westerlands are supposed to be England.
Fucking Tywin Lannister.
Yeah.
He's really the Machiavelli of Westeros, and like you, I got into A Song of Ice and Fire because I enjoyed the political intrigue. I always liked that. I also grew up a huge Lord of the Rings fan, so naturally, when I started reading these books, I was like, wow, this is a lot more adult. There's a lot more realism in this.
Uh huh.
Uh,
Yeah, and probably my main gripe is that like it focuses so much on Westeros. Like I would really, of course, George is probably going to die before he finishes Winds of Winter. And I guess a dream of
At
spring
the
is
very
just that.
least, a dream of spring.
Yeah, a dream of string is just that, a fucking dream. Uh, but like,
Yeah.
I really want to see, like, I want to see what Altos is. I want to see what Sothorios is. Like, Sothorios is literally based on a European perception of Africa. Like, oh, if you go there,
Yeah.
you're going to instantly die. Like, you're going to,
It's yeah, a lot of disease, bugs, poisonous bugs,
yeah,
huge cats, terrible stuff. Uh, Also, like, I don't know if you have a copy of The World of Ice and Fire,
I do.
but when you look at all these, uh, you know, little, you know, city states and all the histories, like Yee, there could be a whole animated, there was talk about them doing an animated show about Yee, but my answer is who's gonna watch it and who
I
cares? But
besides nerds like
besides
us,
us, like
yeah. But yeah,
we're a small audience, you
yeah.
know.
But this is like this is literally how European colonists saw Africa. Uh, this is from Eustace Hightower, a knight from House Hightower, which has many knights. So he says that there were fortunes to be had in Sothros, emeralds, gold, spices, all that and more. Strange creatures, monkeys that walk like men, men that howl like monkeys, wyverns, basilisks, 100 different sorts of snakes. Deadly, all of them. Some of my men just vanished of a night.
Mm.
The ones who didn't began to die. One was bitten by a fly. A little prick upon his neck, nothing to fear. 3 days later, his skin was sloughing off, and he was bleeding from his ears and cock and ass. Drinking salt water will make a man mad. Every sailor knows that, but the fresh water is no safer in that place. There are worms in it almost too small to see. If you swallowed them, they had laid their eggs inside you. In the fevers, hardly a day went by when half my men were fit to work. We all would have perished, I think, when some summer islanders passing by came on us. They knew that hell better than they lit on, I think. So this is basically like the summer islanders are basically the black people of Planetos. Of
Yeah,
course, there might be like honestly, I believe that there are like
there could be an entire nation state,
yeah
in the
entire
middle of Sithorios.
yeah
We
entire
just have no reference.
yeah an entire empire because like the Isle of Noth, where Missandei is from, like regular people who are not from that island cannot go there because even though the people themselves are peaceful, there's like butterflies that have this
Butterflies will kill you.
yeah, the butterflies will kill you. So
That's one of my favorite parts about the end of the show when Grey Worm's like, "Yeah, we're going to the island of Noth." It's like, oh, well, we just took care of the Unsullied problem. Like,
or maybe the Unsullied, because a lot of them are taken from maybe it has something to do with the Westerosi, um like basically being white people, like they can't handle this type of stuff. But like maybe the Summer Islanders are able to engage with Noth, and maybe the Summer Islanders are able to visit and live in Sothorios. Maybe they just don't want to, or maybe there's like lost groups of adventurers who established an empire in the middle of that continent. But yeah,
we'll never know. We
oh
can
well,
always have fun pretending,
yeah,
though.
we'll def.
You should check out. I think there's a YouTube channel, Quinn's Ideas. Okay,
Hmm.
he's got a lot of really cool ancient lore videos on A Song of Ice and Fire, and I think he delves into some of the Sothorio stuff a couple times. And obviously it's all speculation, but to have on in the background, it's a fun watch or listen.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see what type of diseases are in Sotheros. Blood boils, green fever, dancing plague, sweet rot, bronze pate, the red death, grayscale, brown leg, worm bone, sailor's bane, pus eye, and yellow gum.
Man, I could go for some pus eye right now.
Oh God.
uh,
And then you have the green hell, which is basically the fucking Amazon jungle. Yeah. It's like a cross between a European conception of Africa and South America. Like there's shit in the Amazon jungle that'll kill you. There's shit in the Congo jungle that'll kill you.
oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the only people that hang out down here are pirates and corsairs and all sorts of other nasty people. I'm still tripping off that Lauren Boebert thing. Like that is just a fucked up family.
I mean, Just where's she from? Colorado?
Colorado.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
That's a
she's.
weird state, man. I
Uh,
love
she had
no
somebody.
disrespect to your Colorado listeners, but
Uh,
a lot of weird people I've met.
do they have the common cold in A Song of Ice and Fire? Yeah, they even have opioids in A Song of Ice and Fire. They call it. They call it milk of the poppy.
Hmm.
I think one of the Lannisters literally developed an addiction to it. Like one of the not the present day Lannisters, but like one of them was basically a dope fiend.
I can see it. There. Did you ever play the Telltale Game of Thrones games they came out with back? I don't know, maybe 2017 or so.
Were they? No, I don't think so.
So basically, it was just like they weren't fighting games or anything. They were just, pick a dialogue box, make some political maneuvers, and it tells you a kind of a cool story set in the universe. One of the characters in King's Landing in that, he's like you know, uh, kind of like a little finger mixed with whatever the half crippled guy from House of the Dragon's name is. Just a schemer, and he's a dope fiend.
Wait, you
You know,
mean Lara Strong, the guy that
yeah,
base,
Larry Strong.
the guy that burns his whole family to death in Harrenhal?
Hmm. The Curse of Harrenhal, man.
Yeah, the half crippled guy. You're gonna get yourself canceled, Cody.
Well, I mean, he's half, right?
Oh Lord,
He,
he's differently abled.
oh, oh, sorry.
Next, you're gonna call Tyrion a midget.
You know, la- Language hasn't developed yet in Westeros. We're
Apparently,
on an older scale.
apparently it has it in. Apparently it
I,
has
I'm
it in
just
fucking. Apparently it has it in Boondocks, Missouri either.
fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, they've got all sorts of diseases in Westeros. It's medieval Europe. Like disease is the thing. It's in vogue.
It's info.
I want to live forever in a land where summer lasts 1,000 years. I want a castle in the clouds where I can look down over the world. I want to be 6 and 20 again. When I was 6 and 20, I could fight all day and fuck all night. What men want does not matter. Winter is almost upon us, boy, and winter is death. I love the Northerners.
The Dude, the mountain. That's one of the mountain clans
Hugo
that
Wolf.
Stannis gathers. Yeah,
Yeah. Those are some hard motherfuckers. Those are basically like the Scottish Highlanders.
yeah, yeah. I mean, to get 5,000 men, you know, and all he lost was a couple hundred watchmen. Great deal, uh,
Yeah.
for Stannis up in the north. Um, so what? All right, couple questions.
Okay.
Uh, I want to go through the seven kingdoms. I want you to tell me your favorite house in each of the kingdoms.
Okay.
All right, so we'll start at the bottom. How about Dorne?
Dorn, probably Dane. The swords of
I
the
am
morning.
also House Dane is my favorite. I am Darkstar and I am of the night. Edge Lord he might be. I think he's got something to play in the story.
Hmm.
You know. Uh, all right. How about the Reach?
The Reach. Mm, probably Hightower.
There's some schemers down there.
Hmm.
For one of the like most important houses in the entire show or book universe, very before the prequel series, never heard of them. You know, in the main series, which is crazy because they've affected a lot of things throughout the history of Westeros.
Yeah.
You know,
They're basically the most like they were basically like the Lannisters before the Lannisters were
yeah,
like as powerful as they were. I mean, they were always powerful because they controlled pretty much all of the gold in Westeros. But like Otto Hightower was Tywin before Tywin.
yeah, for sure. Uh, I think so. For the Reach, it's kind of a stretch, but good old House Osgrey. I don't know if you read the Duncan Egg
Yeah,
stories.
was it that was it
It's the
the
old dude.
Yeah,
that Dunk's working for.
yeah. And then you had the Red Widow that was like poisoning everybody.
Rohan Weber, but she wasn't though. She was just, you know,
Unlucky.
yeah, or lucky because she wasn't, married to some creepy old man.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be married to a
Feudal
creepy.
societies.
I wouldn't want to be married to a creepy old man. Like that's the thing about feudal societies. Like the most fucked up thing was like you've got fucking 10, 11, 12-year-old girl and you arrange to marry her to a 45-year-old man so that you could get what? A fucking flour mill?
Yeah, flour mill, water rights to a stream.
Yeah, that's fucking disgusting. Like you just man. Or like and they had like this was a main part of the reason why China had revolutions. Like they used to have um, arranged marriages there. Like girls had no rights whatsoever. You were like sold like livestock.
Yeah,
Like Mao's first marriage actually was an arranged marriage. It was never consummated. Like how the fuck are you? How the fuck are you deciding who your kid is going to marry and your kid is 2 years fucking old?
you know, maybe well, like you said, it's all for material gain. It's all for status.
Yeah,
Some of these things, marriage in itself, an argument can be made that technology as a whole is unnecessary nowadays.
hmm
But uh, yeah, and they still do arranged marriages, of course, in India, and I'm sure some other places across the world.
yeah,
And not that like, and people want to point to they always want, have the survivor bias. They want to look at, oh, these people had an arranged marriage and they had such a great life. They really loved and respected each other. It's like, okay, but what if you didn't cherry pick your stories and you checked nine others real quick?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, obviously, we humans have done a great job of organizing ourselves politically in the past, right?
yeah. So what's the next one of the seven kingdoms?
Oh, the Stormlands.
Stormlands. The Baratheons, of course, the most black-coated house in Westeros.
All right. I think I saw you post something about that the other day, but you should definitely go into that a little more.
I mean, yeah, I mean, Robert Baratheon, a dude that fucking, he's a fucking beast. Like the whole fucking family is known for being like literal beasts on the battlefield. I mean, that's us. That's black people, bro. Like even I was reading like a an excerpt from a Japanese dude's diary from World War II. And like they were scared shitless of the black troops that the Brits were using. They were like, these people have no fear. Like they act like they want to die. And like these are the Japanese, okay? Like the literal descendants of samurai.
Crazy motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they're saying that, yeah, we're fucking scared of these people. Like the Brits, we could take them out easy, but these fuckers, no. So yeah, and like, come on, man, black of hair, and like they're literally descended from a Targ bastard. So it's hilarious. Like
Hmm.
the Robert's Rebellion is basically a giant family feud because like the Baratheons and the Targaryens have been like intermarrying for years.
Yeah,
Like
Robert
Oris,
Stannis and Renly's grandmother was a full-blooded Targaryen.
yeah,
So
there's
like,
a big,
not only do they have it like in their ancient history, but like
yeah, but the
recent marriage into the
yeah,
family.
like I find that like I don't know. Well, of course, Valyrian traits are regressive, but like I wonder how they ended up with the black hair because they obviously were secret Summer Islanders.
Could be.
Could be.
Uh, so I also, you know me, I'm a huge Stannis fan. So the Baratheons are number one for me.
Yeah.
Uh, I I've even got a banner, a Stannis banner with like the fiery heart of R'hllor.
Yeah.
I can't like, or maybe I can. Wow,
Well,
got to represent. Uh, No, and I know Stannis is kind of a divisive character in the fan base, especially because of the show's like direction they went with him.
Yeah,
Uh,
Robert is steel, Renly is copper, Status is brittle iron that breaks.
so that that's one of the things that Donald Noy tells John. Uh, great side character, by the way. Shame they didn't include him in the TV show.
They should have,
Uh,
you know who they really should have included? The Vargo Hope. Like that would have been a perfect role for Mike
the Goat
Tyson.
Man.
That would have been a perfect role for Mike Tyson. Like they would have had
Okay.
to they would have had to cover up all the tattoos. But like that role was made for Mike Tyson.
What if they just post like and then for Zolo the fat they just get uh Jason Momoa in a fat suit like like change nothing else.
Kingslayer, I'm gonna cut off your hand, baby.
Oh
Kingslayer,
man.
you are my captive.
I mean he wouldn't have to train the lisp, you
No,
know.
he wouldn't.
Saving money on post production.
Yeah.
Uh let's see. So yeah, there's a really great article. Let's see if I can find it. Iron bins. It's like Iron Bins, uh, Stannis Baratheon. Here. I'm gonna copy this. See if I can. Boom. Check this out sometime. So he's always said that he's breakable, but time and time again, Stannis does bend to new information and new he's not as one way, one thinking, as people claim on the
Because
internet.
yeah, because that's just because they watched the show. But like when you read the
Yeah,
books, he's like very well developed and like it book Stannis would not have burned his own fucking daughter alive.
he physically can't. She's hundreds of miles away, and it's
Yeah.
winter.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
you know
But
maybe after he defeats uh yeah. Are you a big fan of the night lamp theory?
the night lamp. Uh explain
So
that.
it's the the upcoming battle of ice in the
Hmm.
north. You've got the Frey levies led by Ramsay on his way to fight Stannis, and he's camped at that Crofters village that's in the middle of a lake, and the lake's all frozen.
Hmm.
So he's been having in the town. The only thing there is this giant like tower, you know, with a watch beacon for the lake,
Hmm.
so boats can come in. But there's also a separate island where they're about to burn some people alive because the Lord of Lightning says do. Uh, so anyway, the night lamp theory is that he's going to turn off the light in the tower, use the sacrifice and like a dummy on the other island, and lure the new army onto the lake where he's been placing holes and structurally weakening the ice.
Yeah, yeah, because I thought the night lamp was what the Borels had on the Three Sisters. Like that
Yeah.
like the basically they're wrecker lords. They're like basically pirates, but they're lords. And like they cut the fucking lighthouse off and the Bravolsi trading ships or whatever come and smash themselves into the rocks around the island and they go
Mm.
and they loot the wreckage.
Yes. Yeah. The man, House Burrell. And what is that? The Three Sisters.
Yeah.
Those are the islands. Yeah. Uh, I really want that crab soup he offered to Davos.
Oh
Like every
yeah.
time I read that passage, I'm like, man, that
Sister
sounds delicious.
yeah, sister stew. Yeah, pirate stew, sister stew. But yeah, this was the show you were talking about, the Golden Empire.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, but I haven't really heard much more about it. Um,
All
but
right. So
what's
the
next? The Riverlands.
the Riverlands.
Honestly, I love how the fucking Brackens and Blackwoods are like fucking mortal enemies. Like I will never forget.
Yeah, dude.
I will never forget in House of the Dragons. Like this little kid, the little Blackwood kid, and then you've got
Oh
this
yeah.
fucking. Then you've got I think it's Jonas Bracken, and he's like, the princess has a dragon, you dumb cunt. He doesn't need you to. She doesn't need you to protect her. And then like it's basically the Bracken kid like roasting the Blackwood dude, and the little Blackwood dude, like he has heart. Like he's actually standing in front of this lady that's never going
He's
to marry.
cold blooded though.
Yeah, that's never like she's never gonna marry you, bro. You're from a minor house. You don't have anything to offer, and like you know, I will protect you, and I will like the dude kid is like 9 years old, and then I want to say Daenerys, Rhaenyra turns and leaves. It's like all these people are fucking imbeciles. I don't want to marry any of these fucking broke ass dudes. And
Yeah.
then like she turns around and the fucking Blackwood kid is like gutted this guy that's like twice his size.
Yeah. You know, big mouth. Couldn't back it up.
Yeah.
So House Blackwood, obviously my favorite. They've is
They're
it
a they're a yeah.
Titles Blackwood? He's got that raven cape, and like George R. R. Martin just like threw that in there. He was just supposed to be like another random river lord,
Hmm.
but now he's everyone's favorite. Like River House.
And aren't they
Uh,
they're a northern exile house, aren't they?
uh, not not necessarily. I mean, the the history gets a little iffy there.
Hmm.
So they they weren't exactly exiled, but they left the north.
Hmm.
But they kept the gods, and it's just like a nice little anti-story to, uh, you know, the White Harbor, the Manderleys, who were exiled and went north.
Yeah. But they say that the Starks ran them out of the north.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, it says I mean this obviously a wiki of Ice and Fire. It obviously isn't like the Bible, but
Yeah.
yeah, it says that the Blackwoods are an ancient house descendant of the first men. Family traditions state that they ruled most of the Wolfsward in the north before being driven south by the
Mm,
Kings of Winter, which runic
okay.
translations support. It's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got this big ass tree where like ravens have been gathering for millennia.
What's their castle called? Raven
Ra-
Tree or
yeah, Raventree Hall and Stonehenge is the Brackens.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like basically the fucking Hatfields and McCoys of Westeros.
Yeah. Absolutely. And throughout history they go back and forth on like which one is on top. My, I don't know if you can hear that, but my daughter is apparently very excited.
Yeah. Here's that cape you like. Honestly, that goes hard. Like
That goes really hard.
I'd want something like that. It would match my complexion perfectly.
Yeah. Prince of the Ravens.
All right, who's next?
The Westerlands.
The Westerlands. The Lannisters, obviously. I was gonna say the Rains, but I don't really want to. Uh, I don't want to stand people who were stupid enough to get themselves drowned in their own castle.
Yeah. I do like the fan theory. There's like almost nothing to support it, but it's just like a nice flavor one that Bronn is one of the, you know, people have been over analyzing this series for a long time. So
Yeah,
you
because
you
like
gotta
weren't the Rains like redheads?
um maybe.
Yeah, because like every Rain that I've seen was a redhead. I think Roger and the rest of them were all redheads.
Hmm,
And Braun has black hair, if I recall correctly. Let me see.
hmm. Hard as, but I like that idea. Uh, Even though that doesn't hold any water.
Yeah, see, red lion, red hair.
Um, so I think for for the Westerlands, I also got to give it to the Lannisters. They've had a lot of really cool, even if like the main family is currently dicks, like a lot of the cousins seem very like not only competent but like decent. Like Devin Lannister seems like a pretty standard guy. Uh, Obviously, Tywin's brothers were pretty cool. It was just Tywin that was a Machiavellian douche.
I mean, he's the one that put his family back on top, though.
Definitely did.
Like he's the one that put his family back on top. And Kevin explains this very no, not Kevin. Yeah, Kevin explains this very well. Like he's a dick. He has done horrible things to people. He literally wiped out two ancient houses. But
Yeah,
like after Titus, like we were basically going to end up like we were going to end up
sure.
we were going to end up losing Casterly Rock. We were going to end up basically a minor fucking house because
Yeah,
Titus
and
he, like
in every single region of Westeros, like whoever the main house is, they have their antagonists. Like the in the Reach, you got the House Florent. They're always a thorn
oh,
in
those
the Tyrells.
big eared motherfuckers.
Yeah, in Dorne, you got obviously Ironwood. You know,
Ugh. The Blood
they're
Royal.
yeah, but everybody's got their enemies, and Tywin's the only one to have erased them.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
shit. Then
like
like if the fucking Starks had any sense, like why do you still allow the Boltons to exist? Like they literally used to skin y'all and wear y'all's skins as cloaks. Like why do you still allow them to exist?
too
Like
too honorable,
too honor. And like
too liberal.
the Starks have had some hard motherfuckers though. The fucking Hungry Wolf,
Yeah,
Brandon the Burner, like they've had some hard fucking dudes. Like they did not get to become the kings of winter by being nice people. Like Ned said, the original kings of winter were like they were fucking hard as the land that they ruled. You had to be. I mean, you've
yeah.
got people like the Boltons, the Umbers, like
How do you fuck with the Umbers? Every one of them's like 6.5 feet tall. You know,
yeah,
bunch
you
of Robert Baratheons just walking around up there.
yeah, like if there was any house that you would be born into, Cody, it would probably be the Umbers. Like you literally look like an Umber.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
that mountain man aesthetic.
yeah, you're the Red Umber.
Yeah, I'm one of those dirty red beards. My hair's brown, but my beard is in fact
Honestly, I think the Umbers have Giant's blood. They have to.
that's a popular theory. Uh, Also, Hodor. People frequently theorize that he might have a little giant blood in him.
Yeah, it's very common apparently to just fucking giants in
Oh
the
yeah,
north. All right, what's
I
the
mean
next
Storming Giant's
area?
Bane.
Yeah.
He claims to have gotten those guts.
Um, I would not partake. All right, what's the next? Let's do the north.
Uh,
What's my favorite northern house?
yeah, what do you got?
Hmm. Probably the Manderleys.
They're pretty dope. They got they're the only ones doing like a economic run in their Civ 6 gameplay. You
Yeah.
know, like they're stacking coins over there in White Harbor.
Yeah, that's why the Starks depend on it for so much. Like the Starks, they're they're great lords. They're the great house of the north. But like the Starks are fucking broke.
I mean, when you have that much land, a lot of upkeep, a lot of roads, a lot of guards to send, to little
Yeah.
villages.
Like all the fucking northern houses are like impoverished. I mean, they're still richer than a peasant living in a hovel, but like come on, you can't match money with the fucking Lannisters or the Aarons or any of these other people.
No,
Yeah, like look at how they're dressed when they go fucking south. Like, come on. I mean, like you're wearing fucking linen and the Lannisters are wearing silk.
yeah, they there's some burly motherfuckers up there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so for me, I think it's definitely the Hornwoods. Uh, I like that eastern coastline of the north. I think that'd
Why?
be a really cool place to settle. Just from like some of the Asha chapters,
It's fucking
it,
cold over there, bro.
I'm white.
Oh, okay. Well, I would have my black ass in Dorne. I would have my black ass in Dorne. I would not go north of that fucking
I
bloody pass. Well,
man.
the reach sounds nice, but I think Dorne would be a lot more accepting.
Oh, definitely the most progressive of the kingdoms. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at least women have some rights. Not all the rights, but 75% of them.
Yeah. Okay. What about the Vale? Hmm. I'm gonna have to go with Corbray because of that gay dude, Lynn
Okay.
Corbray,
And, hey, they got a Valyrian steel sword. That's totally
Lady
just
Forlorn.
Lady Forlorn, and it's like a kind of a skinnier sword too. You know, you don't see a lot of people walking around with rapiers or thrusting weapons. You know,
Yeah. The Iron
uh,
Islands.
whoa. I got to go with the Royces on the Vale. Uh,
Okay.
that runestone armor, you just got to believe hard enough. It'll protect you.
No, that shit sounds heavy. I'm not a heavy armor guy. That's another reason why I like Dorn. Like they actually know how to use leather.
Yeah,
Mm,
Oberyn has the coolest leather armor. That's definitely for sure.
yeah. The Iron Islands. I'm going to
Um,
I'm gonna go with the Harlaw. They got
yeah,
my boy, the Reader.
I was going with House Harlaw. Roderick the Reader is, you know, the only smart person in an island chain of idiot Vikings.
Yeah, these people are
Like,
their most favorite game is to fucking throw axes at each other.
yeah. Oh, we only lose fingers every now and then
Mm-hmm.
catching axes.
Did we miss one? The Riverlands. No, we already did
No,
the
we didn't.
Riverlands.
We could do the Crown Lands. It's not
Uh,
really a kingdom, but there's some pretty cool houses there. You got the Valerians, you got the Masseys. Uh,
I gotta go with my boy. I gotta go with the Valerians. I gotta go with my boy, the Sea Snake.
dude, I really hope they make the like 9 travels of Corlys. You know, because
I
that'd be a super cool story. Lots of different settings.
I love how like as soon as they released that picture showing that black dude was gonna be playing him, the whole fucking nerddom went wild. He can't be black. Here's why. I have a eugenics chart showing why.
I have a eugenics
Like,
chart.
bro, there were black Valyrians. Okay, like there is nothing stipulating or stating anywhere in the books or anywhere that like Valyrians have to be white.
No,
Like, as a matter of fact, they come from a very warm region of the world and they lived around volcanoes. So it would actually be kind of weird if they weren't dark skinned.
everyone else in the region is kind of swarthy, or like
I mean, it's based on fucking Rome. So, um, yeah. As a matter of fact, like, honestly, let's just say that all the Valyrians were dark skinned.
could be. I think Corlys is one of the like coolest characters in all like the legendarium of all the lore. Like the dude has seen more of the world. He's just. I mean, I guess Euron Greyjoy has seen a lot of the world too, but
Yeah.
he's a fucking psycho.
Uh huh.
So yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking at like look at all the like extinct houses. Like you've got the Muds. Well, for one, that's a funny ass name. But like,
hmm
bleh.
Catelyn on the way to the Red Wedding passes by an
Old
old
Stones.
castle that used to belong to House Mud, and talks about the ruin of the house, which is some really great foreshadowing for the Red
Mm-hmm.
Wedding. um,
Then you've got House Coharis, which probably has the wildest fucking heraldry. Like this is some fucking 2000s Photoshop shit.
that looks like one of those like plaques you would make in Black Ops 2, like your
Yeah.
little tag. Uh, Richard Lawnmuth, I think he's got a really fucking cool sigil. It's like a death head moss.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, no, the
Was it?
Knight of Skulls and Kisses.
Yeah, House Lonmouth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Ugh.
So,
That's too
all right,
fucking busy. So politics. We've nerded out enough. So
fair enough.
are you voting in November?
You know, I I always vote. I think
Oh my God. Why? Why, Cody? Why? You don't have to vote.
I know. I think it's like the least important thing you only have to do every 4 years. You know, I think I look at it. Yeah, you've heard of harm reduction. You know all that. Like
Harm,
if it's
harm,
15% better, that's a better option to me than it being worse.
nine,
Not
nine, 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 nine. That is like harm reduction is a term like derived from the industry that I work in, actually. From like working with unhoused people, from working with drug addicts. Harm reduction is like weaning
Sank
somebody.
Uyghur, cigarette enjoyer, or wants me to vote for Sank Uyghur.
I don't want you to vote. I don't want you. Cigarette enjoyer. What? This Serbian has a lot of takes on American politics. I don't know shit about Serbian politics, but how does he know so much about American politics? Well, like
That's the Young Turks guy, right?
Sink Uyghur, yeah.
That's Hassan's uncle.
That is Hassan's uncle. I'm not voting for Sink Uyghur. I'm not voting for. First of all, I don't even think he's going to be on the ballot in Missouri. I think people are trying to get him to like write him in or something like that. But I'm not voting for that man. Why would I vote for that man?
It's not
um,
like his takes are that much better, you know.
you met Americans yesterday. Oh, were they nice to you or were they mean? So who are you voting for, Cody?
I mean, the I like the uncommitted option. That would be great. But I mean, I'll probably end up voting for the Democratic candidate. Whoever it might be. Uh,
And you call yourself an anarchist? Why?
well, you know, I'm too much of an optimist to subscribe to the ratchet theory, I guess. I, you know, it's kind of like a Charlie Brown in the football situation. I'm going to keep trying to kick that ball, you know, get some forward field progression.
That's not optimism. That's stupidity, Cody.
I mean, what else do you want me
Don't
to do?
vote. Don't vote. Stay at home. You don't have to vote. Stay at home. Play with your daughter or something.
I mean, I get plenty of that in already.
Like
Just
what is it though? Like what is it with Americans and like feeling the need, even though they know all of the left critiques of this shit, they know that this country is fucked. Why is it that we're like zombies? We all have to march to the polls in November
I
and
think so. My thought is, while yes, all these leftist critiques are accurate. We don't have a fair democracy. We've got all these problems. Shit's fucked everywhere you look. But the work in politics is the time in between elections. It's
Mhm.
what you're doing to organize, what you're doing to actually change individual problems. Not you know Joe Biden's not a band aid you want to put on an open stomach wound. You know you're gonna have to do it step by step. Uh, but I mean, you're a political organizer. You understand it can be hard to get people together,
Well, why don't you
especially.
just yeah, my question is like why don't you just like you do not have to vote for anybody. Like why don't you just stay home?
Well, I mean,
You don't have any good reason as to why you should go vote for this person.
it's true. I I would say that I've preferred this Biden presidency to the Trump. presidency.
Why? Like,
I
what has been the material difference between Trump and Biden in regards to the biggest issue of
oh
our time, which is Palestine?
well, I would say climate change.
Oh, what is Biden doing against climate change?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Not enough. Not enough. I would say it's probably the most vain American reason ever. Just like Trump was embarrassing. Like
All of these people are embarrassed. Oh my God, is Biden the model of a statesman?
no,
The guy can't even. The
no.
guy can't even. The guy
But
can't
these
even.
are the only options they gave me.
You don't have to just break the wheel. You don't have to engage with any of this stuff.
Christopher Stormborn over here.
Like you don't have to. Like you don't have to swallow the shit that these people give you. This is what I keep trying to get people to realize. Like you don't have to accept any of this. Like Trump was embarrassing. Like we've had people who have literally been Ku Klux Klan members in the White House.
Yeah.
He's embarrassing. Yeah, sure, but so is Biden. Like the very existence of this country is embarrassing. The fact that we, like a guy literally had to set himself on fire a couple weeks ago to get people off their asses and get people talking about what's happening. That's embarrassing.
I never thought I'd see that, in the modern era. Of course you heard about these, protests, the self-immolation, back to protest the Vietnam War.
Somebody did it in
Uh,
December. A lady in
yeah,
Atlanta did it in December. We don't even know her name. We don't even know her name. We know Aaron Bushnell's name because he was wearing a military uniform and because he was adamant about like, hey, this is what you need to see. Like
yeah.
we literally watched Usher uh skate around at the Super Bowl and perform all with his washed up ass while
Man, I was thinking the same. I was like, man, Usher would be a great Super Bowl halftime show if this was 2005.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, Jesus,
Like,
it's fucking middle school all over again. But like, I mean, it was a halftime show for millennials, for aging millennials who are slowly approaching 40. Anyways, but we saw that while Rafa was being fucked up. All of this is happening under Biden. All of this is happening under Biden. Ferguson, for fuck's sake, happened under Obama. Like these Democrats really don't mean us any better than the Republicans do. And then, second of all, you and me, we live in a red state. So no matter how many times, you're probably gonna be the only person where you are that votes for Biden.
so e- even in these really rural areas, you'd be surprised. About a third of the votes do go to Democrats.
And
But
is it from like younger people or union people or something?
I mean, a lot of younger people. So like my grandparents, I told you about them earlier. They've got a cattle farm, uh, and my grandpa got that from being a union, lineman. You know, so he was always, always voted pro-union candidates. Uh, though, of course, they've
Usher,
gotten old. They've
Usher would
gotten
be,
old now, so they've become Trumpers somehow,
yeah,
full 180.
but they probably voted for Clinton in '92 and '96.
Oh, guaranteed.
Usher would be
My
perfect
dad,
for self-immolation.
my dad also, my whole life was like a Democrat, and my mom, always talking about pro union stuff, and that was nice because my dad was the judge in our town, so it was like nice to see that we had somebody, you know, that was thinking about, I don't know, the common man a little more. Uh, but now, he's getting older, and now he's not the judge anymore because we disbanded the court in our town.
I'm
Now
gonna
we just
call
send
you.
him
I'm gonna call
send
you
him out.
Bob. I'm gonna call you Baba Vakian. You know, Baba Vakian's dad was a judge too.
No, is that the?
The RC, the Revcom guy.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna call you Baba Vakian now.
The
But
magistrate's son.
no, yeah.
Uh, no. So now they got rid of our court because our town only has 4,000 people. So they moved all our cases to the bigger city of Rolla, which is about 10 miles down the interstate. Um, but now even my dad, like, he doesn't like he doesn't like Joe Biden at all. I guess he has like a 30-year-old vendetta against him for some fucking reason, and now he's become like a Trumper. you know. And it's just like,
You know that
I,
fucker came down. You know that fucker came down here and he made me late for work back in '85.
you, you
Oh,
know, it makes you wonder because like my dad has never been afraid to, flout his association with like anybody, whether they're infamous or famous. Like he got his law degree handed to him by Johnny Cochran.
oh,
uh,
is he proud of that fact?
yes, he is. He's very proud of that fact. Like it was right, the picture of him getting his like law degree handed to him from Johnny Cochran was right below the law degree in his office. Like he was very proud of it.
So your dad's a small town country lawyer. That's neat.
Yeah.
So so you don't know why you're doing a thing. You don't know why you feel compelled to vote for the Democrat in November.
I mean I do for the reasons I said, but I don't feel like they're going to be effective. Like I do it because of the a certain feeling of, I know the logic doesn't hold, but if you don't like participate, you can't like voice your
Sure you
opinion.
can.
I know
Shit.
you can't, but
Black people weren't allowed to vote in this country for centuries. We still participated. We even burned shit down every now and then.
that's right.
I don't know, man.
I think it's a personal choice, and I understand where you're coming from. Like you know it's shitty, uh, but I feel you know especially around here where organizing efforts have been like at a dead end for a while. Like the like during 2020, during the Black Lives Matter movement, like even Raleigh had like a Black Lives Matter march and
Hmm.
like protest. We went through Pine Street, uh, and there was a huge turnout, almost 1,000 people. We were,
Yeah, this is a college
you know,
town.
it's a college town. Very, we were, super excited about that. Since then, the momentum, the organizers, they disappeared or moved away. That's another big problem I found with organizing around here. Uh, when I find somebody who wants to come to like a political action meeting, you know, where we address something in the area, they're a college student,
Yeah, see,
and
that's a
eventually they move away
yeah,
and they're not here anymore.
that's a contradiction with college organizing in general, though. Like, that's an issue up here in St. Louis. Like, except like here, a lot of people that go to school in St. Louis, they end up liking St. Louis and they stay in St.
Yep.
Louis. So a lot of the left here is either college students or transplants who came to live here after college. But like,
Yeah.
nobody wants to live in fucking Rolla, Missouri.
No. Uh, although I there's a reason I stay in this area, and
Why?
it's
It's
mostly
cheap.
okay. One of the main reasons, yes, we
Uh,
have the cheapest cost of living, outside of mid middle Mississippi and like central Arkansas in the United States.
Yeah.
So it got that going for us.
If it wasn't so cheap, he would have moved to St. Louis years ago. I feel it.
Yeah. Uh, but also, in the age of the internet, you got access to just about anything you want. You can get anything delivered to you. If there is like a event coming up, St. Louis, hour and a half away. Springfield, hour and a half away. Columbia, hour and a half away. So I can get to the three of the four biggest, cities in the state in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
If I want to go to a concert or
Can't go to
go
KC.
shopping.
Yeah, KC is different, but you don't have any reason to go to KC anyways. Fuck KC.
I okay. Hey, I got some friends in KC. I like Kansas City. Not as much as I like St. Louis, but it's cool. It has its charms.
Yeah, a bunch of shitty fountains.
Hey, they've got a lot of fucking fountains.
Yeah, it's Fountain City. They're proud of those fucking fountains.
Really, I like the World War One museum. That's a pretty cool place.
A few years ago, like the Red Guards actually vandalized that.
What?
Yeah, and everybody's
No.
like, "Why the fuck would you write on the World War I museum?" Like they put some stupid shit about. I can't even remember. Let me try to pull it up. But yeah, I will never forget that. World War One museum vandalized. World War One memorial that doubles as a polling site vandalized with voter intimidation messages. Don't vote. Fight for revolution. Hammer and sickle.
Oh man.
Yeah, like why would you do this? Like it doesn't
I,
like
I
do
mean,
you
just to get as many eyes on it as possible,
but like
probably.
yeah, but like how many people have seen shit like this and have been like, "Oh yeah, you know what? The graffiti is right. I'm not going to vote anymore."
Yeah, that graffiti's right. I'm now going to abandon
They
all
did the
responsibilities and join the People's Vanguard Party.
yeah, the Gonzaloites would do this shit like every election season and people it was a meme for a lot of people. Like here's another one. This was in Texas.
So speaking of the Gonzalites and Hatfield, you and like you Maoists and these Gonzalites, that's like a Hatfields McCoy situation. It seems like
No,
you
no,
guys
they
are always fucking like chirping at each other.
they're irrelevant now. Their little pseudo organization fell apart a couple years ago. It was basically a cult. Like they literally tortured their own members. Like whenever you fucked up with them, they would make you load a backpack with heavy rocks and shit and run up and down a hill.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
I
a
mean,
cult.
yeah,
It was a cult.
damn. Speaking of cults, our Ghazi Kuzo, what's going on with him?
He's still in
Getting
jail.
sentenced yet?
He's still in jail. I don't even think his trial has started yet.
Really?
Yeah, he's still in fucking jail. I hope he's. I
That
hope.
shit was wild to
I,
follow.
I hope he.
Like,
I'm not. Yeah, it was. I mean, it was bound to happen though. But I'm not a. Yeah, I'm not a fan of black people being in prison. But that motherfucker needs to be in prison for the rest of his life.
dude was wild. That's
He
for sure.
was. He was certainly wild. You be lucky you never had a conversation with him.
Yeah. Uh, man. So it's how many years we've been talking on Facebook? Probably
A while.
yeah,
If you
probably about
doc, if
maybe
you
five.
if you accidentally dox me, I swear to God,
Dox you.
dox me.
I ain't gonna. Uh,
Mm,
but anyway, it was actually a friend of mine, a comrade by the name of Paul, and he killed himself back in 2020. But
oh dear.
I know, it sucked. He was really cool. He ended up working at the same bar or slash brewery that I was working at, and really interesting dude. He was like 20 years older than me, but he grew up in Panama. His dad was like a special forces guy down there at the military base stationed there, and he grew up, obviously with some daddy issues since his
Hmm.
dad was in the military. And he actually was the guy that introduced me to you. He's like, oh, as soon as he found out I was a leftist, we like instant friendship. And he was going through, oh, you need to follow all these St. Louis people. They're always posting funny shit, especially this guy. Uh, and one of the best ads I've ever done. you know, you're a constant source of enjoyment and good information.
Well, that's good. I'm your minstrel. Thank you. But yeah, like a lot of the thing with a lot of Maoists is that we take ourselves way too seriously. Like I said earlier, like you cannot plan a revolution down to the last bullet. That's not going to work. What's going to happen is you're going to end up giving yourself a headache, and you're not going to be able to recruit anybody, and then all that super serious shit is going to backfire. You have to be ideologically not like so fluid that you're an eclectic, but you have to be able to bend shit. Otherwise, you're going to be fucked up, and you're not going to be able to lead anybody. You're not going to be able to lead or organize anything.
Yeah, you got to be, we're Americans. You got to be a little pragmatic sometimes.
Yeah, especially like you said, we're Americans. The problem with American now is just the fact that you all don't leave the house, no connection with the masses. I'm so sick of this fucking CERB. Leave house, Comrade. If Comrade Tito had not never left house, he would have not been able to beat fascist and establish Socialist Federated Republic of Yugoslavia.
Damn.
So, Cody, what do you want to wrap up with?
Um, man, I really appreciate you having me on here. This was fun. We should definitely do it again sometime.
Definitely.
I think this is good. You know, especially ending on the note of pragmatism, because it connects right back to my boy Stannis. You know, you got to be able to bend. You can't be brittle or you break.
All
Uh,
right.
I hope you know we make it through another year.
I'm going to make it through another year regardless.
I don't know. Strange times, brother.
Strange times. All right. Well, don't sacrifice anybody.